Okay, so let's just first talk about this week and where we're at and where we're heading. Okay, so here in week 11, we have our step 4 due. And so, because unlike previous steps where I had you implement code from the previous week, I moved it to at the same day as attendance. So, for this week, I don't have to do that, and I felt it was probably better placed here. So what we're going to do is then have you complete collect the last input. Amazingly, we have our last input modification for the carbon footprint, and then we move on to form validation. But in this case, you'll have that to complete before you get to step 4. Now, in this example, I've also made it to where you can actually go right to step 4 even before, and this is something I've changed purposely this week to allow you to actually not only look at what I go over in the step 4 video, but also to see the instruction, okay? So know that it's in this order, as you know, but you can jump here unlike previous weeks in my course. Okay, so after step 4, which we'll talk about in a minute, and I'll give you something to do around that for attendance. Just to look forward, we have week 12, we're doing basic form validation setup, and then we'll actually implement it, and then we move on to our step 5. And where we'll implement validation. Then we'll start on asynchronous code, getting the AQI, the air quality index for our carbon footprint app. So we have, the big topic left is form validation and calling an API call and getting back data that we then render to the page. So as I scroll into week 11, one thing I just noticed, and I want to just make it clear, is that, we're in week 11 here, right? So by this time, you may see this more full. So the sooner you get on these scheduled, the better for technical interviews. Remember, you have 2 opportunities, but you miss that second opportunity if you wait until here. And there is the Thanksgiving holiday. So you can see that it is already, at least, and I'm recording this in week 10. So you can see that it has already started to have several assignments there. Okay, so just to give you that. So now let's look at week 11. So what I've done here is that even though you can move to it, I went ahead and provided in attendance because you do have to get through attendance to get through the rest of the items. And I wanted you to have a look at the week 4 where I walk through what you need to do for step 4. And I wanted you to do that here. And this is just content showing what I just talked about, which is related to the idea of how you can view it differently this week. Okay, I'm going to refresh that so it doesn't have it in the full screen. The other thing I want to talk about before I get into the actual work that we're going to do is in the spring 2026 semester, for those of you studying specifically web development, we're offering CIT84, which is frameworks. So these days, frameworks are very popular, like React.js, like the checkpoints that you're doing. That interface was written with React, but React is just very, very popular. Now I say that it's being taught by Rick Gomez. It is completely online. He will probably just cover also how frameworks in general work, because many times you're actually using somebody else's code, meaning somebody else's library to lean into so that you don't have to write as much code. And that is where we come up with the idea of a framework that we're using. It can also be called library, but typically with React, we're saying a framework because it has other pieces that you can add into it. So consider that. You'll see me posting. If you're on Discord, you'll see me posting about this because we're really trying to help this class make, because sometimes it's a little more challenging because you have to have taken JavaScript the course you're taking to take frameworks. Okay. All right, so now for the graded part of this work, and I'm actually going to stop here and give a video just for that part.